He's the host of the nationally syndicated radio show, Dave the Caregiver's Caregiver Radio Show. Please welcome Mr. Dave Nassaney.
Thank you. Unforgettable, that's what you are. All I wanted was a few warm bodies to put on my sailboat to get us to Catalina. But instead, this older woman invites herself to my sailing trip. But that's okay, because I'm looking for bodies anyway, right? The strange thing is, I get this phone call the next day. Hey, I'm Charlene. How are you? Can you please come to my house for dinner tonight? Well, I'm a starving 20-year-old college student, so of course I went. And as I'm standing at the door, I'm realizing that I have no clue what's on the other side of that door. The door opens up, and I get three unusual smells. The first smell is this amazing perfume cologne Giorgio. It was very nice. The second scent was something that was very familiar in the 70s. It was incense burning. And the third one was an amazing aroma coming out of her kitchen. And I'm looking behind her. Her living room is dark, but there are many, many candles burning. And then I hear Nat King Cole singing that song that I just sang. And then time stood still. And in a second I says, oh my God, I'm on a date. And then I really freaked. I says, oh my God, do I want to be on a date with this older woman? I mean, she had to be like 30, I don't know. So I checked her out, top to bottom. And this was a pretty good-looking 30-year-old. So I said, I can do this. And then time came back to normal, and I hear her talking. You're going to love the meal I cooked for you. Everything is stuffed. That's the theme. We have stuffed Cornish game hen, stuffed mushrooms, stuffed caviar, stuffed dessert, and I don't know what else was stuffed, but by the end of the evening, I was stuffed. Okay. Now, we had a great time, and I don't usually date women like that. I usually go out with the teeny boppers, you know? But I got to say, this girl, she was a woman. W-O-M-A-N. Well, we went sailing the following weekend, and we went on an 8-hour tour. We went from Los Angeles to Catalina Island, and we left at midnight. We got there just when the sun was rising, and we had a great time on the island. We went all over. We exhausted ourselves with the crew. We just crashed on the boat. The next morning, we wake up to the sound of a small craft advisory warning, 35-mile-an-hour winds, 10-foot swells, and we're a little concerned because we all got to get to work the next day, and we need to get back, but we want to be safe. So I go back to the island, and I look for this guy. Can you see that? He's the saltiest sailor I can find who can give me some advice on how to navigate a storm. And we talk, and he says, it's going to be cold, it's going to be wet, and it's going to be rough. That was his advice to me. But he gave me some tips. So we're on the ocean, and every wave that we go through is this fine mist of salt water. And it was actually fun for the first hour. I was having a great time. I felt like I was on that Old Spice commercial, right? But then after an hour, it wasn't fun anymore. It was cold, it was wet, and it was rough. And I'm getting cold. My navy pea coat now weighs 100 pounds, and it's just cutting through me like a knife. I look to my crew. They're all shaking and cold, and one by one, they start barfing over the side. And then one of my guys freaks out. He goes, we're going to die. We're never going to see land again. I said, shut up. I've been through storms before, and no one's dying on my shift tonight. Just pay attention and be quiet. I look over at my brand new girlfriend, right? Our second date. And she's shaking and she's barfing. And I says, oh my God, she's never going to want to go out with me again. And then everything was quiet and miserable for the next 7 hours. We're just kind of trying to get to land. And then what seemed like an eternity, I hear this sound, land ho! And everyone starts dancing and jumping up and down and high-fiving, and I hear some voice say, I knew we'd get back. Another voice says, no, you didn't. And then I hear my girlfriend say, I knew you'd get us back. And I tell you, Charlene is an amazing woman, and I am so happy that I married her. It's one of the best decisions of my life. Unfortunately, 22 years after I married her, she had a stroke for no reason at all. And she lost her speech and became paralyzed on one side. And in that moment, I had to learn how to become her caregiver. And it was the hardest job that I'd ever done in my life. You know, in this country, one third of the population of the U.S. are unpaid family caregivers. But what's worse than that, 1/3 of that group will actually die before their loved ones do. It's a devastating, deadly occupation. And I was the lucky one. I could have been dead. Today, I'm still her caregiver, and she is still unable to speak or walk. However, we have both reinvented ourselves, and now we speak all over the country in venues like this and on television, and we try to help caregivers stay alive. If you are unfortunate enough to know of a family member or a loved one who is in this role of caregiving and they're not doing well, please turn them on to our loving community of caregivers so we can help them. Now, I'm Caregiver Dave. Check us out, because you just might be saving a life. Heck, you might be saving your own life. Thank you very much.